What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We had an awesome day in the markets today. The markets blasted up. A ton of tech stocks exploded today. Tesla went crazy. Twitter went just absolutely insane today, as we have some crazy news with this one. But overall, we have a great video for today, guys. We have a lot of great plays for tomorrow. So, Tom, fill us in.
Yeah, the biggest thing really is Elon ended up becoming a huge shareholder of Twitter today. It was insane. He now owns 73.4 million shares of Twitter, which represents a 9.2% passive stake in the company. So this is huge. Obviously, anytime Elon Musk does anything with any type of stocks or even crypto, it normally brings a lot of hype in. So of course, today we see Twitter start flying to the upside, especially early on in pre-market. Pretty much within the first 10 minutes, Twitter went from like $40 all the way up to $50 within just, like I said, like 10 minutes or so. So it was a really big increase there, and it actually held up all throughout the day. Sometimes whenever we see these types of moves, sometimes you see a bit of a pullback, but Twitter kept up with the momentum. So it's looking good here, especially on the daily chart. But Mike, that is a big move by Elon. You know, I know that he's been pretty upset with Twitter, and he's been saying that they undermine democracy by not adhering to free speech and stuff like that. So it's definitely pretty awesome to see him doing this, I think. And who knows, maybe it'll help revive Twitter.
True that. And he took like a 9% stake, which is pretty big, just like you said. So this is some pretty crazy news, and there's definitely a bunch of hype with Twitter stock right now. Tom, check this out. So Twitter stock today had, let's see how many shares traded. Twitter stock had 264 million shares traded today. Normally they only have like 12 to 15 million shares traded. So clearly everyone's talking about this one, and there's a ton of hype with it. So looking at Twitter stock for tomorrow, what levels are you watching?
Yeah, it's going to be huge because we're actually rising to levels that we haven't been at in a long, long time. So the first thing I'm looking at here is Twitter rose all the way up to $50 today, and we ended up closing just under that. So what I'm going to be doing is pretty much watching Twitter here. If it's able to break the high of day today at like 51.37, I think that we can see a pretty good move up. I do see a bit of support here at $50. We did just fall right below it though, so we'll have to see if this ends up holding up tomorrow or not. But looking at it overall, Mike, like on the daily chart here, there is a big candle that came out back on November 29th, and we also hit around $52 there. So I would say there is a bit of resistance at $52 as well. After that, I'm looking at 55, but mainly, Mike, it's just playing this momentum. You know, if it breaks the high of day, then I think it could end up having a pretty nice move, and who knows, we might even see it break up in pre-market.
Good stuff. So while we're on the topic of Elon, how's Tesla stock doing?
It's doing fantastic. It's also up 5.6%, and it blasted up today. It actually roared above the high of last week, which was right around 1120. And you can just see it exploded above this, ran all the way up to around 1149.90, almost hit 1150 today. So Tesla did great, just like Twitter did. Let's see Tesla on the daily chart, Mike, because this is starting to look pretty explosive here. Tesla was consolidating to end the week last week, but today we had this huge candlestick to the upside, and I feel like a lot of momentum came right back in, especially once we started breaking above 1120. We just saw a lot of volume come in here, and it just pushed these candles way higher in the middle of the day. So we had a great day overall, Mike. It wasn't just Tesla. The other growth plays are also up.
Yeah, it was an awesome day. Like, check out Chewy. This one jumped up 12% today. It just exploded. Even DraftKings was up 7% today. Palantir up 6%. Zoom was up 5%. So it was an amazing, amazing day. And honestly, it's not like there was one major catalyst to explain this giant run up. Like, just, you know, there was more buyers and sellers today, and there was a lot more demand than supply, you can say, because, you know, think about it, Tom. It's not like we had any major catalyst come out today.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't. The only big thing was really Elon Musk in the morning with Twitter. And I guess that just helped bring some renewed momentum into the market. Like, obviously, it helped Twitter. Tesla had a lot of volume, but in general, just a lot of tech stocks ended up moving up. I'm not sure if it has to do with Elon at all, but in the end, though, you know, I'm sure that definitely helps people with their sentiments whenever they're seeing stocks move up. So I'm glad to see stocks rising like this. And I know yesterday, Mike, I kind of talked about the S&P 500 had a pretty good close, or I should say the SPY did last Friday. And then today we ended up getting that nice breakout type of move this morning. So the SPY honestly continue up all day long. The QQQ itself really ripped up today, really outperformed, was up 2%. So like we said, a lot of stocks did great. Even Square was up 8.6%. This is insane. Unity is up 9%. Like a lot of these metaverse plays are coming back too.
True that. So, Tom, while we had a good day today, we can't celebrate just yet. We can't celebrate just yet because we do have a big week in the markets. I know the FOMC is on Wednesday, and that normally does bring in a lot of volatility.
Yeah, it really does. We can see on the calendar here, the FOMC minutes is going to come out on Wednesday. Like we talked about, this is going to show everything that they talked about at the last FOMC meeting. Powell always comes out with his press conference and gives a summary, but this is going to give us a more in-depth view. So we'll be able to see exactly what they're thinking. We're also going to see jobless claims come in Thursday. And then we do have some Fed speakers tomorrow, Mike. It looks like Brannard speaking a couple times as well as Williams. So we'll definitely keep that on the radar too, just in case. But the main thing is going to be that minutes there on Wednesday. And, the market's ripping right back to the upside here. Hopefully the minutes don't make the market start to fall back down, because I know the past couple of times, Mike, it seems like the market hasn't been liking the hawkish views lately.
Yeah, that's a good point. And just for everyone who doesn't know, basically the FOMC minutes day is just like Tom said, it's like a summary of what the top Fed leaders were thinking with the previous Fed meeting. So that's good in that sense. But Tom, what do we have on the schedule in terms of like earnings for later this week?
The only big one coming out is really going to be Tilray on Wednesday before market open. There is a couple more like Levi's and a ConAgra is probably pretty big too. But in the end, I think Tilray is going to be the biggest one there Wednesday. Looks like we're finally slowing down, Mike, with the earnings. It seems like we've been in an everlasting earnings season here. I'm sure it'll start to kick back up sooner than we even realize, but let's go check out Tilray again, because this morning Tilray dipped all the way down to $7.05. And I did see a pretty bad report come out that pretty much stated that the cannabis companies, they might not get this bill to pass through the Senate like they're hoping. The bill passed through the House last week, but it might have some trouble in the Senate. So we'll have to see if it ends up passing or not.
Right, there we go. And then what other news do we have going on in the markets or just like the world right now?
Yeah, it's always bad with the Russia situation. And, the market did very well today. But I will say Biden had some pretty choice words for Putin today. He pretty much calls to put Putin on trial over the war crimes for Russia's killings in Ukraine. So as we know, Russia's been a huge advocate right now in Ukraine. They've been really pushing their agenda, we should say. And obviously they've been assaulting the country. So we'll have to see what happens. But Biden straight up said he is a war criminal. And I remember the last time Biden started talking like this, Putin came out and was a little bit offended by it and kind of made some threats. So we'll have to see what happens. But Biden says he thinks it's a war crime and he thinks that Putin should be held accountable. So we'll have to see if something weird happens like this. Apparently we're doing more stuff accusing the Russian oligarchs of some issues as well. So it's not slowing down anytime soon, Mike. But I will say our market did very well today despite these headlines.
All right, so looking at the market, what levels do you have for tomorrow?
Yeah, the SPY did great today. We popped up above 456. I think that's going to be a big support level to look at for tomorrow. If we hold up above 456, the next major level I'm going to be eyeing up, Mike, is all the way up here around 458. I think that's going to be a pretty big level. I also see some resistance here around 457.30 as well. But the main thing I'm going to be looking for is a move up towards 458. And then after that, I'll be looking at a move to 460. I know in yesterday's video, I talked about maybe getting to 460 by the end of the week. So who knows? It might come sooner than I expected.
Yep, we'll see. All right, well, I just want to give a giant shout out to our member of the day pick in Discord. Thank you so much for being so active and being a great member of the Stocked Up Discord chat. We really appreciate you. But Tom, what are your favorite setups heading into tomorrow? Like, there's a lot of great setups to choose from. A lot of stocks are in good patterns, but what's your favorite?
A couple of my favorites are the China plays. I will say Baba, Baidu, and NIO did great today. I mean, NIO really broke out. It started to pop above the high of last week very slightly there. If NIO starts breaking out above $24 tomorrow, I'll really have this one on the radar. Tesla did great today. All these growth stocks are back on the uptrend. So if that does continue, I think NIO will be a pretty good one to look at for tomorrow. But looking at this, Mike, NIO's great. I'm also loving these metaverse plays like Unity. I really like these clean energy plays, also like RUN, Enphase, FSLR. They had some pretty awesome breakouts today. Like Enphase is all the way up to 217 now. If we look at them on the daily chart, they have recovered up a ton from their lows. They were at 125 just a couple months ago. Now they're all the way back up to 216. So they've definitely been like outperforming here. I really like the recovery today, Mike, even out of stocks like Blink. They're not up like Enphase, but they started really breaking out. So I feel like we might go ahead and see a continuation out of some of these plays. And of course, I just can't forget about Tesla. I mean, they're one of my favorites, and they really ripped up today. So hopefully they continue up as well.
There we go. So let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. And with the first one, we have BLNK to the upside.
Yeah, with Blink, go ahead and make them break out above $30 a share. They ran all the way up to $29.56. And if they end up breaking 30, I think they could have a pretty good move.
All right. With the next one, we have PENN, PENN.
Yeah, Penn Gaming, they actually almost triple topped up here around 45. Go ahead and make them break above $45. I think if this one breaks, Mike, it could make for a pretty good day trade.
All right, and with the last one, we have Logitech, LOGI.
Yeah, Logitech really ran up today. Go ahead and make them break out above 76.60 for tomorrow.
All right, so we are watching Logitech, PENN, and Blink for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. But Tom, overall, I think we're set for a great week. Stocks are looking amazing so far. I'm definitely not going to complain when we see stocks like, Chewy up 12%, DraftKings up 7%, and Zoom up actually over 5%. So it's been a pretty awesome week so far. I also want to shout out that bot play really quickly. So if you guys trade options, check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. Our bot has been on fire lately. Today's Apple play went from 186 to 236 in just a couple hours. That's like a 27% return in a couple hours. The best play from last week popped 54% in a couple hours. It went from like 238 all the way up to 367. You can cancel at any time. You can chat with Tom and myself all day long. We have a bunch of custom bots that you won't find anywhere else. We have daily option swing trades, day trades, premium selling plays, and more bots than you can imagine. So definitely check it out. We have a coupon running. Now's the time to try it out. The bot's on fire. But Tom, do you have any closing thoughts before we end today's video?
Yeah, today was great. A lot of tech stocks are starting to move back to the upside. We even have Facebook here recovering up in a major way. And I just think it's really important because, Mike, a lot of times people miss some of these uptrends. And, with the way stocks are starting to move, I feel like a lot of people might get left behind. So it's always good to, open up longer term positions on stocks that you like. I know a lot of people love to day trade and everything like that, but over the past few months, there's been some great opportunities, whether you're looking at Facebook or Square or Twitter even, or anything like that. They've all been beaten down lately, and they're starting to come back in some major ways. So I'm really eyeing up a lot of these growth stocks like Corsair, DraftKings, Zoom. I love the way they're recovering back, and I feel like over the next maybe 3 to 6 months, we might finally see some renewed momentum out of these growth plays.
There we go. Well, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. Let us know what stocks you're watching in the comments down below, and there's a good chance we cover them in tomorrow's video. Besides that, let's have a great rest of the week.